welcome to another Rumination Tarot video. I've missed you. I wanted to make a video for a while and I haven't had time to do so. And tonight, or today, whenever you're watching, it's always nighttime for me. This is a spread about listening to your heart, getting in connection with that part of yourself, and listening to the needs and wants of our hearts, and just, feeling out the heart energy. So I think I was drawn to this spread because as an overthinker, I can think about things so much that I don't remember or know what the original want or need was. It's like you think yourself into a hole, pretty much, like convincing yourself one way or another, and then you're like, I don't even remember what the original thought was. Anyway, so I think this is good for that. Kind of similar to connecting with your intuition, but just specifically what your heart desires. And so one thing you can do when selecting a group, if you don't want to watch all of them, you can just kind of sit here and like focus on your heart and your, like, that area of your chest, and just think about it, and then look at the piles and see which one you're drawn to immediately. You can also always just go based on like the number 1, 2, or 3, or which image you like the best, whatever works for you. Or like I said, you can watch them all and see, like pick and choose which messages resonate with you. But so for the piles, we have group number 1 with the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. We have group number 2 with the Star Spinner Tarot, and group number 3 with the Strange Daisy Tarot. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say for that. I will meet you in your group, and let's get talking about our hearts, peeps. Anyways, see ya. Greetings, citizens, individuals, people, humans who chose option number 1, the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. This is your How to Listen to Your Heart or Heart Expansion Tarot reading. Immediately, I would like to give you a hug. It looks like you're going through a lot. But hopefully we'll get some really nice messages out of this. So the card that is describing your heart energy at the moment is being represented by the Tower. So something, catastrophic is the word that comes to mind, but something basically has been yanked away from you, or yanked away from your heart. Or at least it feels that way. Maybe it didn't actually, but it definitely feels like things are falling apart a bit. Things could just feel really up in the air. Usually this card shows up when like something that needs to be taken from us is taken from us, but that doesn't make it any easier. And maybe even like your heart is in a space where like you're wanting to take things away, or what's the right wording? You're wanting to do away with things that aren't serving you anymore. You want to be the hands that are causing the tower to break, or the lightning that is hitting the tower. It's not just something that's happening to you. It could be something that you realize needs to happen and you're kind of making it happen. But a lot, you could just feel like you don't have a lot of footing right now, emotionally, or even just in general. You might even be feeling a little devastated, and I think because of the next card. So this is how you can open your heart up, is the Five of Cups. And this is a card all about grief and losing things. So this is telling you the best way to open your heart is to feel through those emotions of loss that are being brought about because of the Tower moments you're experiencing. So definitely don't let these emotions just build up and like drown you. Let them out, feel them, especially the more uncomfortable ones. Like, you can either just sit through them and feel them, or you can ask yourself questions about them, like why does this feeling being triggered? And sometimes you can't answer the questions, a lot of times you can't, but sometimes asking the questions answers a lot for you. Sometimes asking the questions makes you realize you're not feeling it as strongly as you thought you were, or you're feeling it worse. I don't know. I think it can definitely help you. I mean, I've just learned that you, like, bottling up your feelings and pushing them to the side doesn't get rid of them. They're gonna come back usually at the worst time possible, or in the worst way possible. So the best thing to do is just accept the emotions, acknowledge them, validate them, and then decide whether, like, you don't always have to act on them. Just like acknowledging what's going on can sometimes be all you need. And I think that, like, this individual is really focused on that one cup and, like, is really upset, like, oh my gosh, all of this water is gone. But there could be, who knows, there could be a bunch of other stuff in these other cups. They could be where your support lies. You might just not be looking in the right place at the moment. But also, again, it's good to acknowledge, like, why we're so focused on that cup, where the emotions are coming from. But these two together makes me think that things are being taken away from you at the moment, and it's really important for you to allow yourself to grieve those things, whether they're people, emotions, mindsets, like environments, living situations, whatever it is. Something is changing drastically and quickly, and you may not be able to feel through all of that at the time that it happens, but whenever those emotions do come up for you, allow yourself to feel them so that you can move on. The card that is showing up for how you can expand your heart energy is funny. It's like the card of expansion. So I like the way that this one is showing up is making me think of, like, follow your passions, because, like, the torches are all about fire, passion, inspiration. So it could be that there's, like, a few things are going to crop up for you that amidst all of this, like, dark purple, cloudy, stormy situation that you're in, there's going to be little sparks of light that you're like, oh, I kind of like to follow that smoke and see where it goes. And I think it's saying that, like, any little spark or light that shows up for you, if you follow that, it will help your heart energy grow and expand. And it'll give it space to feel through all the things that it needs to feel through, that you need to feel through. There's also, like, they're all tilted upward. Like, there's a very, like, uplifting feel to this. And I always think of threes a little bit as, like, planning. Like, maybe you're not in a situation where you can really act right now, but you can start planning and thinking, okay, once I'm feeling better, once I have the energy, this is what I'm going to do. These are the feelings and the thoughts and the inspirations that I'm going to follow. And so something your heart needs that you ignore, being represented by the Wheel of Fortune. Something that you ignore. that your heart needs. The Wheel of Fortune. I mean, the Wheel of Fortune is the card that I think shows up when it's like you just have to let things happen. It's a card about fate and just like seriously spinning the Wheel of Fortune, and you don't know what kind of thing you're going to be handed. A lot of times it alludes to like things going on behind the scenes. So if you're a person who believes that everything happens for a reason, this is like a way of just like confirming, okay, what you're experiencing right now is happening for a reason. You can't always know why. You're not usually going to know until you're past the really emotional part of it. It's usually like a retrospective, like, oh, that makes so much sense why I didn't get what I wanted then, or why I had to go through such a difficult thing. I see where that's helping me now. So maybe this is just saying that what your heart really needs is you to understand that some things just happen. Some things are up to fate. You can't control them. You can't keep yourself from feeling them or experiencing these things, which I would think is like advising you to be gentle with your heart. Just accept that some things are out of your control, and don't beat yourself up about it and in turn like hurt your own heart because of things that you have absolutely no control over. And also there's something a little bit, I think there's, especially because the next card is being represented by the Prince of Swords, I think there is also something about you might need to take action. Like, not right now, it looks like a lot has happened to you and you need to catch up with that, but the Fool was the card that shows up at the bottom of the deck. The Prince of Swords is a thing for how to spend time living from your heart. This is telling me that you're going to have to take action. And so maybe the Wheel of Fortune showing up as something that you need that you're ignoring is, to some degree, there are going to be things that happen that are out of our control, but we also can't sit around waiting for like the wheel to happen or the wheel to spin. We have to do things so that the wheel will spin, and we have to, sometimes the things we have to do are very stagnant. They're healing, they're resting, but other times I think you're about to come into a space where you really need to take action and just follow any little like gut inspirations is the only word I can think. Like, anytime one of these torches shows up, bring out the haste and the willingness to just jump into the unknown and really take some action. But it's okay if right now you just need to feel through these feelings and heal, and maybe that's the action you need to take. But yes, so this card is how to spend more time living from your heart. Prince of Swords. So he is, again, all about being sometimes too hasty, but he's very action-oriented, and the swords are all about like thoughts and communication, talking to people. Sometimes this one looks a little sinister to me, and like out for blood. But I think because of everything that you've been through, I guess the warning is not to be too biting with your tongue. It's okay to be blunt, but like be aware that you could hurt people. I don't know. Words can cut. And I think like it's also saying that like, look how like this individual has a lot of armor on, but they're still going out there. Like, even though you've been through some shit and you may have to like put on a little bit of protection, have some sort of like defense, but don't let it keep you from acting and getting out there and jumping into things. Also acknowledge when you are being protected by the armor, and just don't, like, the armor can be taken off, because there is going to be a time where you need to be vulnerable and you don't need to be guarded. When you've been through something like this, you have to put some guards up. But don't make them permanent. Make it something that you can remove and get out of, so that you can, follow little sunsets and leap off of cliffs. So, in summation, some things are being taken away from you, or you are cutting some things out of your life right now. The best thing you can do to help your heart out and listen to your heart is to just feel through the feelings, allow yourself to grieve things. It's okay to be upset. Even letting go of things that aren't good for us anymore, it's still painful and hard, and it's not something that you let go and then never think about again. I think especially anything that is really pulled away from us that quickly, it's gonna come back in our minds and our hearts from time to time, but just allow yourself to feel through it. Then, to expand, pay attention to any little things that give you a spark of hope or inspiration, and make your plans based off of those things, and explore them. Allow yourself to explore them. Keep doing things. Keep taking action so that the wheel will spin for you, but also acknowledge that there are some things that are out of your control, and some things that we don't always get to have all of the information at the time that we feel we most need it or most want it, but it's usually for the best, and we'll understand it somewhere on down the line. So to spend more time living from your heart, take action, get a little messy maybe. There's no way to avoid heartache or challenges. You still have to just kind of jump in there. And I don't know, I'm really getting the feeling that this is maybe when you feel more in connection with your heart, there will be this jolt of, I need to act. And this could be confirmation. It's okay to listen to that. And also, I think you must be living from your heart space, because if you are the cause of the tower moments in your life, or the big tower moment in your life, if there's something that you are cutting out of your life, it's because of this sword. And if this is your encouragement of how to spend time living from your heart, then it's saying keep cutting away what you know is no longer good for you. I think you and your heart do know what's best. Maybe you're more in connection with your heart energy than you realize. Yeah. And maybe a lot of this was caused from taking some big risk or action. And I think all of this is telling you that was the right move to make. All of this was very necessary. Don't let it keep you from acting in the future, because there's a lot of cards here that I think are saying there's going to be a lot of action for you to take soon enough. But don't forget to feel through all the emotional stuff. Yeah. I'm going to sum it up. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you those who chose option number 1, I hope you have a wonderful night, morning, daytime, evening, mid-afternoon, whatever time it is. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome, group number 2. This is for you if you chose the Star Spinner Tarot. This is really interesting because these 2 cards are not only the same cards that showed up in group number 1, but they're in the same position, except this one's reversed. But anyway, so if you were thinking about watching group number 1, there might be messages for you too. I do think that this one's going to, come out a little different because of the other cards. And yeah, but anyways, I just had to get that out of the way. It was a little shocking to me. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so welcome. Let's listen to your heart a little bit. So the first card describes the energy of your heart right now, and it is being represented by the Page of Coins. So this tells me that you are, let's see. So pages can be about messages. They are usually about starting something new, somebody who is not advanced in their craft, but they're starting to learn something new. And for coins, that would be, you could be starting a new financial endeavor, a new job, sometimes it's just about your material surroundings. Maybe you're getting in touch with nature right now. This interpretation definitely seems to be more focused on money and wealth, but I think there's also a lot of greenery, and it could have to do with nature. But yeah, so I'm thinking either you got a new job, maybe you just received a raise and you're trying to figure out how to save better or become better with your finances, or just better utilize your material resources. And that's where your heart is. So that's interesting. Your heart is concerned with your material environment. This card represents how you can open your heart, and it is the 8 of Chalices, 8 of Cups. I think this is very clearly just saying there is some kind of emotional baggage that you need to part ways with, at least at the moment. In a traditional Rider-Waite deck, this is an individual walking away from a wall of 8 cups and going to find a different path, or go back the way they came and be like, maybe I'll come back to this later. So maybe it's not that you have to completely forget about whatever this thing you're walking away from is, but realize that it is taking up too much of your emotional energy and your emotional space, and it's making your heart a little closed off right now. So to open that up, you're going to have to let go of some things, especially if you're focused on your material environment. Sometimes our emotions can hold us back a little bit, and this is directly coming from your heart. This stuff is weighing me down. There's also this castle is very ominous and dark. This gives me vibes of in The Little Mermaid when Ariel first gets her legs and becomes a woman. She doesn't have any clothes or anything, and she's looking up at that castle how do I get there? But it's before anybody took her in. Just that feeling of oh my gosh, I have nothing. Sorry, got distracted just staring at this, trying to figure out if there's anything else. I was really paying attention to the sky and just all of the environmental pieces. Whoop. drop, drop. So how you can expand your heart energy is being represented by the Two of Wands. So this is about being open to possibilities. I'm also getting like Tinkerbell vibes from this. Like she has some power and she's debating between a couple of things. Twos are usually about a decision. I'm trying to... This looks like the same castle too. So once you clear out that emotional space, then it's like you're going to have these like inspirations, sparks of hope that will kind of give you a clue of where to act next, what to do next. I also like am really noting the flowers at the bottom of this one. They're really similar to that. Oops, I gotta look at the camera sometimes. It's just like the yellow equivalent. Maybe like you're looking for an environment that matches you. Like, I just keep noting like her dress and everything is yellow, and then this whole world is yellow. So it could be that you just like, once you let go of this, you're going to find an environment that is a lot more suited to you. And I think there's definitely some decision surrounding this card. But I think maybe the options will feel like, maybe like you feel like there aren't any options right now, and the fact that like two things could come up and you're like, it'll make you feel like, oh, I do have options. There are other possibilities out there for me. So this is something that your heart needs that you ignore. And again, like this card was in the same position last time. It was just upright in a different deck. I think reversed, this is very much saying that you're waiting for things to happen and you're not taking the action to like get the wheel moving. So the Wheel of Fortune sometimes shows up to tell us like, this is out of your control. Something is like working behind the scenes to make this happen for you. You can't know about it yet. The fact that this is reversed makes me think that you're like living too much like that. Like you think you have a lot less control in your life than you do, and you're waiting for something to happen to help you like get out of the space that you're in right now, when really there's some kind of action that you need to be taking, and you still have plenty of control over your life. Don't let like fate is real to some degree. I don't know, it's like I'm a person who typically thinks things happen for a reason, but sometimes you get so caught up in that thinking that you use it as a reason not to take any action. And especially the fact that you got the Knight of Swords as how to spend more time living from your heart. This is telling me like, be a little hasty, take some actions, say, like jump into conversations, say words, because swords are about thoughts, but they're also about communication and talking to people. And the Knight is really hasty. Sometimes can be a person who like thinks they know more than they do and is willing to act before maybe they should, but this is telling you like, do that. The only way you're going to like progress and move forward is by acting. Even if it's like taking the wrong action, you're still learning something from it. And your bottom of the deck energy was the Six of Wands, which is usually about a success. It is about a success. I'm trying to think of how that ties into this. So it could be the success. I'm definitely thinking it has something to do with these two cards. So maybe the success is what's getting you in this Page of Coins energy, but it's also making it hard for you to walk away from something, because maybe there was a certain degree of success with this situation, but not enough for you to be held back by it, if that makes sense. And like, even with things that we're emotionally invested in and it's hard for us to let go of, sometimes you still have to let them go, even if that's so that it can come back into your life or come into your life. Anything that we have too tight of a grasp on, it just can take an unhealthy turn and be excessive, and we need to know that we don't need anything. I don't know, this ramble is kind of going on quite a tangent, but I don't know, like, there's no wrong, I feel like there's no wrong way in like letting go of things, because either you're letting go of them and it can come back to you, or you're letting go of it and then you've let go of it and you don't need it anymore. I don't know. It just feels like a healthy thing to do. And this, like, especially because this is showing up, that's saying that there is something that needs to be let go of, or you just need to try a different way to go about things. You're looking at this like lofty goal that you can't reach, and there may be another way to it if you just like step back. Or, you know, like if you're working on a paper or a project, something, and you just like sit there for hours trying to make it happen, and you reach a like wall of like, I can't make anything happen with it. Sometimes you just have to step away, take a little nap, get a little food break, and then things will make sense and become clear, and then the action you need to take is going to become apparent to you. Yeah, I think this is your whole reading. Just like, don't let your power be taken from you. Let go of some things. Keep working on that coin. And just, jump into action. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll join me for my next video, whenever that will be. Till then, have a lovely lifetime. Hi, welcome, group number 3. This is for you if you chose the Strange Daisy Tarot. This deck is by a really cool artist, Elise Osborne. I will link her Instagram and I think maybe her shop down below. We'll see. I'll put some information in the description so you can find her. But yeah, this Strange Daisy Tarot deck is super cool. So yeah, let's get listening to your heart. This is going to be the card that represents your current heart energy, and it is the 6 of possessions, or pentacles, or coins, depending on the deck. In this deck, they're called possessions. And I always think of the 6 of coins as like charitable. So your heart space is feeling very generous at the moment. With this one too, there's like this scale element of like, are you being too giving? I think there's always a risk of that if you're a giving person, that you can be a little extreme with it. But it may not be a warning. It could just be saying, hey, you're feeling really generous with your heart energy at the moment. And how you can open your heart is being represented by the Ace of Fire. I think of this card as being all about inspiration, like a new thought, a new idea, a new project, a new passion. So, and aces are all about opportunities. So there may be some kind of new passion or new opportunity showing up for you, and there's going to be this like heart instinct desire for it, and this is encouraging you to go after it. And it's a cupcake, like maybe there's a birthday situation. I'm not feeling like called to talk a lot, which is interesting. I'm not sure what's holding me back there, but okay, so how you can expand your heart energy is being represented by the Lovers. I would say that this is telling you that there is some part of yourself that you need to accept and like incorporate into who you are, or how you describe yourself. Like maybe there's a part of you that you reject, like a shadow self or something. There's some parts of you that you are not fully accepting into your being, and this is encouraging you to do that. It could also be that it's time for you to expand your heart with another person and come together with another person or people. I think it's like a green light saying that it's okay for you to accept more into your heart space. So maybe it's saying it's okay to be a little generous, or there are people that you're going to accept or bring into your world that are going to be reciprocal and give to you as much as you give to them. And it's okay. It's okay to let those people in. It's okay to give to them. It's okay to love with them. And that'll expand like your heart energy as a whole. Sometimes like taking on more opens up more space when it comes to the heart. Like you have to know that, like sometimes you have to give it to know that you have it to give, if that makes sense. So this is something that your heart needs that you ignore, and it's being represented by the Woman of Possessions. This could be saying that you have a maternal instinct or paternal instinct that needs to be utilized. Like you're a very nurturing individual. And yeah, maybe that's the whole thing, is that like you're naturally very giving, and you may have experienced some things that were that excess side of giving that I was talking about at the beginning, where you gave too much, didn't have anything to give. This whole thing could just be telling you like you miss giving to people, and it's okay. Like you're in a space where it's not going to hurt you to give again. It also could be saying that like if it's something you need that you are ignoring, that your heart needs. Also, look, this pentacle is on the heart. Maybe it's saying that like maybe you deny yourself possessions and like buying things or surrounding yourself with things, and this is saying it's okay. Like giving to yourself is also a form of generosity, and it's time to do that. If you're feeling like you're wanting things, physical things, like it's okay to give them to yourself from time to time. It's okay to like embellish your look. It's okay to do things for yourself. That generosity has to be turned inward at some point in time. And so the card that showed up for how to spend more time living from your heart is this like wild card eye thing that shows up in this deck, and there's no like information about it. I kind of think of this as like you already know. Like it shows up when like it just like not even confirmation, but like your intuition already knows. Maybe that's why this reading is going so fast. It's like you don't really need any of this information. You have it. Sometimes it's just nice to hear somebody else say it. I also like, I've been listening to this song lately, but it makes me think of Can't Nobody Love You by the Zombies. It's like, you're the apple of my eye, oh. So that, with the heart and the eye, makes me think beauty's in the eye of the beholder. This again could be a third eye, like you already know. This is about your intuition. Also, if it's about the possessions, it could be like you know which things you see you love. Like it's okay to go after those things. I also kind of tried to pull a clarifier for this, and it didn't ever really feel like it was necessary. It just kind of felt like the card was saying, like, you already know what you need to do to live from your heart. I take it from these cards that you're already really in tune with your heart space. Maybe you just wanted some confirmation. And sorry if you were wanting to hear something completely different, but I mean, I just think you know, you're already pretty in contact with your heart. The bottom of the deck was saying Man of Fire. So this would be like the King of Wands in most decks. I think it just is like, you know what your passions are. And maybe your passion really is like wrapped up with all of this giving and stuff, but I think it's just like saying like you can still fully be who you are and give the way that you want to, but like just turn it inwards. Give to yourself. And also like with the Lovers, if this is about like an external person or people or like outside environmental external factors that need to be incorporated into your life, I think it's just saying that like you know that giving to other people is a way that you give to yourself because it makes you feel nice. Yeah, I don't really feel like there's a ton to expand upon. It just feels like your heart is in a really giving space, and this is telling you it's okay, but just like listen to when you need to be giving to yourself and when you need to pull back from giving to others. Yeah. There's also, it kind of looks like she's looking at him. So maybe that's something. Maybe it's like, okay, it's time to open up and go after this Man of Fire. If that applies to you. And these, obviously gender is kind of irrelevant. Well, not irrelevant, but like this would be feminine energy of the material realm, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman or somebody who identifies as feminine. And same, like this is masculine energy, but it's not necessarily somebody who... Well, and okay, so also if we're sticking with like the Lovers being about incorporating parts of yourself together, the masculine energy you have may be completely fire oriented, and your feminine energy could be really earthly. And so it's just saying, like, it's time to, like, incorporate the two within yourself. And that's kind of drawing me to the scale of, like, the black and white scale. You've put so much on this side, this fell out of that side, it's time to bounce. These are both sixes too, if numbers stand out to you. Yeah. I think I'm going to call it there. Thank you for watching. I hope you join me for future videos, or go check out my past videos if you haven't watched them yet. I hope you're having a lovely day, morning, evening, middle of the night, all of the above. And I will see you next time to ruminate some more. Good night.